Peace. $1.50. 2G what it is. 2G equal 2,000. What it is being arrested. Sounds live. Peace. $1.50. Yo. When I went shopping for a new joint, you know what I mean? Hold up, let me pluck a card. This is a new deck of cards. I'm not going by the old card I plucked, before I changed joints. Jack of Hearts. When I went shopping for a new joint, I seen a couple of joints, but it was mainly Canon that showed up representing. You know what I mean? Canon was representing. You know what I mean? I seen the R10. The R10 was like, you know what I mean, a solid joint, but it wasn't as chunky as the 1DX Mark II. You know what I mean? The 1DX Mark II is chunky, like a heavy duty all around, you know what I mean, banger joint, but it's like, it's an older model, but it's built like, you know what I mean? It's built like for the future, like before they came out with the R10s and the Nikons, and you know what I mean? The Nikon got the competitor joint, but based on being at the location I was at, you know what I mean? The Canon 1DX Mark II was standing tall, you know what I mean? It was standing tall, it was like in the background, you couldn't really see it. When I saw it, I was like, yo, what's that right there? I like that right there. That's what I'm looking for. A chunky joint that won't look like it's gonna fold when I run a deck of cards through. When I run a deck of cards, I run through a straight deck of cards. Like I plucked the card just now. I plucked the Jack of Hearts, right? I plucked the Jack of Hearts. But when I run through a deck of cards with the Nikon does well, but this uncertainty of, not being able to handle a deck of cards. The deck of cards is like, you know what I mean? It's a lot for the joint to just repetitively, go through a deck of cards. But this joint, the 1DX Mark II, it can handle a deck of cards, you know what I'm saying? It can handle a deck of cards, but that's not why I got the joint. When I went through the deck of cards with the Nikon, it went through it so fluently and without flaw, I said, well, I'm not gonna bog down. I'm gonna push my joint so it won't bog down, so I won't get caught in between, people playing with the cards and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Before that even happens, I made sure, I got out of there. You know what I mean? When you talk about a deck of cards and the hierarchy and kings and queens is starting to align, and you sit there until somebody start playing games with that, nah, you gotta get out of there. So the 1DX Mark II is like a solid joint with nothing around it. It don't have no cards around it, don't got nothing around it. It's just got me saying, I copped that. I went back to Canon and copped the 1DX Mark II. You know what I mean? I don't have the cards around it. Now, if I bring it back around me, it's around me. But without it being around me, like I'm vlogging now, I got the deck of cards. Let me pluck a card. Deuce of Hearts. Now I'm plucking cards now, but I'm using the iPhone 11. This is the iPhone 11 I'm recording on. This is not the 1DX Mark II. The 1DX Mark II, I put a few dollars down on it, you know what I mean? And stepped off, you know what I mean? First I learned it a little bit. I learned how to work it a little bit, took a couple pictures, did a video, you know what I mean? I learned how to use it. And then I said, because at first I didn't know if it did videos. I said, does this record? Because I don't see the record button. So then I programmed the record. You gotta go into the menu and program what type of video you want to record, because it's got crazy options on it. The ISO, the aperture, the manual. You got to figure out how you're gonna do it. I'm not doing it in RAW. That's too manual for me. I do it automatic JPEG. That's how I'm doing it, automatic JPEG. When you do an automatic JPEG, you don't have time for, like, when I do the iPhone 11, I don't go into the aperture and the ISO and play around with I let the technology do the work. The technology in my situation needs to step up. You know what I mean? If I'm dealing with Apple, I expect Apple to step up to this joint. I don't expect to have to do manual labor after I paid $1,200 for an iPhone 11. You know what I mean? I'm just on it like that. You know what I mean? If I spend, you know what I mean, top dollar for the 1DX Mark II, I don't expect to play around with it. You know what I mean? I don't expect to play around with. I want the option to play around with it, but I don't want it to be mandated that I play around with the 1DX Mark II. When you check out the Canon 1DX Mark II, when I get it, you're gonna be like, oh, this joint is a beast. You know what I mean? It's got the hood on it. You know what I mean? With the lens, it's got the. You know what I mean? It's crazy. It's crazy. It's not your regular joint. I'm gonna show it to you. You know what I mean? When I get it, it's gonna take a minute because I'm still waiting on the refund from the drone, and the refund from the drone is not the only reason why I have to wait until I get the 1DX Mark X Canon. It's other reasons, like, you know, I gotta wait until the resources match the amount that they charge me. I gotta wait until the next joint go by, you know what I mean, and stuff like that. I'm not all in place with the price, you know what I mean. The price was like, boom, this is how much we want for it. I was like, can you take a little bit less right here? Cause you know what I mean. They was like, no, we ain't gonna do that, you know what I mean. So it's like, you have to really step your game up. You gotta step your game up. You can't have those cupcakes and all that you want to have. You know what I mean? When I see what's up, what I see what the flip side of me having the 1DX Mark II Canon, I say later for the cupcakes. You know what I mean? Later for the candy. Later for the potato chips. I want the 1DX Mark II Canon. You know what I mean? I put that aside. I put the cupcakes and potato chips aside. I don't need nothing distracting me from what I'm doing right now. You can understand what I'm doing right now. When I said I'm starting a new project, it wasn't a new project per se, like I'm changing what I'm doing. But when I got the Canon 1DX Mark II, I was like, yo, nobody else can cop the joint. I'm probably gonna be the only YouTuber in the joint with a 1DX Mark II. That's how it's going down, by Canon. It's a Canon joint. It's bulky and chunky, and you know what I mean. It's all there. Then I'm gonna try and get the gimbal to match, cause the gimbal gonna be chunky, you know, too. Cause it's the gimbal that I said I was gonna get. I'm still gonna get it, but it's got to be chunky enough to hold the Canon 1DX Mark II. If it can't hold the 1DX Canon Mark II, it's really chunky. It weighs like 3 pounds. It's really chunky. So when I show it to you, you're gonna be like, yo, that joint is huge, like a red joint. Like, it's not a red joint, but it's huge, like, you know what I mean, a big chunky joint. You know, it's made for what it's made for. When I was plucking all them cards, you know what I mean, you can't have nothing that's going to bog down, and you know, people draw too much attention, and you know, and something, the uncertainty of something not working shows up. When that start happening, you know, you got to be like, this is real, but I need something real of it. Because you're talking about Lamborghini. You're talking about Porsche. You're talking about Ferrari. You're talking about BMW. You're talking about Mercedes-Benz. You're talking about Peugeot. When you're talking like that, they don't just, you know, you're not just walking up with no mediocre joint talking about you recorded the video. You gotta show up with solid joints. The joint I'm talking about is solid. The Canon 1DX Mark II, crazy solid joint. You know what I mean? You're gonna see that joint and it's gonna take a minute because I'm going through the motions. The motions I'm going through is like, you gotta get your return right. You gotta cut back on the potato chips and candy. You gotta, certain parameters. It's not just, I'm just gonna have it like that. It's gonna take a couple of weeks. What's today? Today is the Today is the Oh, that's the wrong date up there. That's the wrong date. I gotta make sure I fix that. You know what I mean? I didn't see it. It's one of them clocks with a time change on its own. Well, it's Tuesday. You know what I mean? It's Tuesday. Today is the 12th. Today is the 12th of March. Today is March 12th, 2024, and it's Tuesday. But most importantly, I'm on the iPhone 11. It's Tuesday. Let me take this down now, because I gotta take it down to change the time. I gotta take it down to change the time anyway. So why not take it down when it's showing up, with the wrong time and date and stuff on it? Why not take it down now? So check it. The 1DX Mark II Canon is so crazy. Like I recorded, I did a video. Because when I got the Nikon, I took a picture. I took pictures. I recorded with the Nikon. I checked out how it worked. But then I uploaded the app where you can upload your pictures from the camera. The Canon got the same thing. The Canon got the same app. I gotta put it on there. But the same option, Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, it's got the same capabilities. It's got the same capabilities of the Nikon, but it's not a lower caliber of a camera. It's a higher caliber of a camera. You see in the Nikon, but the Nikon had different characteristics where I had to learn how it worked and stuff like that. This joint is you got to learn how it worked, but it's a little more solid than the Nikon, based on the caliber of camera that it is. It's a little more solid. Like I haven't even seen how it works completely, because when I recorded at the store, when I recorded, it was like, I recorded, it was low light, it was, it was a certain setting, but I learned how to work the record, I learned how to take pictures, I learned how to erase the pictures, I learned how to, do certain things with the camera. And when I learned it, I'm gonna go back, because I gotta, when that drone money come back, I'm gonna take the money off of that and add it to what I already put it on there, because it's like a layaway joint. It's a layaway joint. It's not, it's not like, you just go in and make a big purchase. It's a layaway joint. You put in, you say you want that, you want the 1DX Mark II Canon. Let me get that right there. Put down someone. If you don't get it, you lose your deposit. That's how it's set up. You lose your deposit, and I'm going to get it. You know what I mean? It's that real. I'm going to get it. I'm not going to lose my deposit. I'm sure that I'm going to get it. And when I get this drone money back, I'm going to take the drone money, put it there just to, secure my purchase. And then like another week or two, cause it's a chunky amount. You know what I mean? It's a chunky amount, and and I don't really got it like that. Donations are skimpy. I can't really depend on donations and all that. Donations are skimpy, so I'm depending on what I'm doing. When I'm making this vlog right now, this vlog is not based on generating money. This vlog is based on me just keeping up with the times and pushing my joint. When you don't see me vlog every day and push my joint, It's logic behind it. It's not just, I don't feel like doing it. I wait until I strategize a strategy that's compatible with what I'm doing. If I'm saying Lamborghini, don't think I'm just going to walk up and like, vlog. That's not what I'm doing. When I don't see Lamborghini show up accordingly, I say, all right, Lamborghini, we see each other eye to eye. All right, Porsche, all right, BMW, Mercedes, we see each other. Peugeot, we see each other. You're not just going to show up because I make a vlog. I see what you're saying. So I push a joint with a deck of cards that's so unbearable. I take the Nikon and be like this, throw a 100-yard pass with the joint. And you got to have the receiver. You got to have the receiver. When I saw the Canon 1DX Mark II, that was the receiver. You know what I mean? Caught the play. Boom. Solid joint. Working the joint right in the store. Like, all right, this is how this works. No manual, nothing. Get online for the manual. Get online for the manual. Where's the play button? Where's where's this? Where's that? Get online for the manual. That's all. Get on YouTube for the manual. You don't have no manual where you just turn the page. That's not how my joint is set up. My joint don't come with a manual. It's just what it is. You pay the price. You know what I mean? Joint come without a manual. Come without certain things, but it's got the charger. It's got 4 batteries. It's got a neoprene case. A slide-on case that it fits in, But the lens is crazy. You know what I mean? It's got one of those chunky lens with the hood on it. You know what I mean? It's about this big. This how big the lens is on the joint. It's about this big. It's not one of them joints like this big. It's about this big, this long, and it's about this wide. You know what I mean? Chunky joint. It's not nothing to play with. That's the whole idea behind it. You know what I mean? When I did the deck of card trick, it's going to pick up from there. I might push the cards. I might not, depending on how I have because I want the gimbal too. I want the gimbal because the joint barely fit on the gimbal, but the gimbal holds like 6 pounds. The gimbal that I'm getting holds 6 pounds. It's got the Raven eye and all that. The Raven eye where you mark a subject, you mark a person in the video, and the camera just follow the person around. It's got the Raven eye. That's the Raven eye technology. So that's the gimbal that I want. You know what I mean? I'm not getting that right now. I'm getting the camera. First and foremost, I'm getting the camera. The 1DX Mark II Canon by Canon Corporation. I'm getting that. And when I get that, I'm going to be near Canon. Like, what's going on, Canon? It was the M50. It was the M50 like 2 or 3 times, you know what I'm saying? But I tossed the M50 for other reasons. When you're taking pictures of fire trucks, police cars, and ambulances, you don't sit there that long. So when I tossed the M50 the first time, I didn't sit there that long. Then I got another one because it was so fire. It was neat and compact. It wasn't a big, bulky 1DX Mark II Canon. It was a neat, compact type of joint. Like I could just walk down the street and be like, there goes and take a video, make a video right there, take a picture. And then got the website name and everything. My joint was so crazy. Like you can see the people, like what is he doing taking pictures of the fire truck, the police cars like that? Because I don't say what I'm doing. I don't say what I'm doing with the M50. Now that I'm back with Canon, I'm saying what it sound like, but I don't say what I'm doing when I got the M50. When I'm with Canon, it's like it's a covert operative. It's a covert operative, and When it get too repetitive, I toss the joint. I toss it because they moving in, they getting closer and closer. Without them seeing me do the recording, but seeing the video, it's getting closer. Too unbearable to be playing around like you just know how to catch them without them seeing you. They never seen me take no picture, no video. It just was the Canon M50. Tossed the joint. That's how I did with the Mavic Mini. The Mavic Mini was the same way. When I got on Capitol grounds, they got close enough to say, you can't have that on Capitol ground. They got close enough to do that. And when they got that close, I tossed it. Boom. The Capitol Police was near me with footage from the Capitol grounds that I was on, and I couldn't, sit around waiting for the moment for them to strike. I had to make sure whatever I was doing, I had to be that experience. It's espionage. It's a spy movie. It's all of that. Because without knowing, without any guarantees, you exposed to the elements if the Capitol Police show up. The Capitol Police show up and they get near your video and they saw what you was doing. That's too close. You either make more videos or come back and try it again and all that, and they grab you and take your footage later for that. I tossed it. The M50 was like that. Nobody ever seen me with the M50. When they never seen me with the M50, I tossed it 3 times. I tossed it 3 times. I bought one, I tossed it. I bought one again, I tossed it again. In the same argument. The police cars, fire trucks, ambulances. Same content. And it wasn't bad content because without my situation being addressed, it's like somebody trying to steal my identity in so many words. I make hip hop music. And my hip hop music isn't being acknowledged. I took my music to Times Square and people abandoned their identity so I wouldn't be real. To some extent. I won't say who, I won't say why or nothing. I just don't get along with the mainstream that don't acknowledge who I am in hip hop. My hip hop is crazy. Like, I talk Infinity, I talk, hip hop headquarters, vaccine distribution, right on my joints. I talk that right on my joints. I talk current events, politics. I don't want, nobody to disrespect the politician that's going to, catapult to the future. Don't disrespect that. Catapult to the future. You know what I mean? So when I'm talking about hip hop headquarters and the politician that's in favor of the hip hop headquarters is running for office or in office, I say leave him alone. You're not making sense. How you gonna try and impeach a joint when the joint's saying, COVID-19 not real? The joint saying put a wall up because, migrants can't flood the country. Soon as the joint get out of office, they rush them, they bum rush them, and now it's migrants all over the place. Now it's COVID-19 all over the place. It was COVID-19 all over the place all in the beginning, but it was a fight against COVID. It wasn't no, you're going to just let the migrants in the United States that easily. It was an argument. It was politics. It was politics, and when it was politics, you heard me in my music saying politics. You heard me in my music saying hip hop headquarters. You heard me in my music saying, automobile industry. You heard me in my music saying all that. But most importantly, it wasn't acknowledged. You see me with a deck of cards that's based on not being acknowledged in the same vicinity. How I'm not acknowledging hip hop, saying hip hop headquarters, hip hop sick pay, hip hop bail, hip hop retirement, hip hop bathrooms, hip hop transportation, hip hop, training. Without no hip hop training, you can't you don't have no direction in the future. You don't have no presence in the future without no training. When you train for a driver's license, you train to drive a car. You have learning and you have experience in driving based on being taught to drive. You don't have no situation where you in a car driving with a driver's license and you didn't learn how to drive. You didn't get a driver's license. Well, in hip hop, you don't have a hip hop license. In hip hop, you don't have hip hop safety. You just drop out of school and do your album, and that's it. That's all you learn. You learn what you know, and the bittersweet comes with the territory. You got to pay your taxes on that money. You gotta pay bail. You gotta pay legal fees. You gotta take the bitter with the sweet. And I seen them artists that went past me and got the fame and fortune and not the same caliber of an artist. I'm a producer first and foremost. I'm a producer. I can get an artist and produce an artist. I can get another producer and produce another producer. I can get somebody in the hip hop headquarters and generate a hip hop temple, a hip hop police department, hip hop courtrooms. I can do that because I'm that type of producer. I'm a hip hop business person. But when I'm not acknowledged, you got to take the bitter with the sweet and keep moving. You know what I mean? Now you're going to see the Canon 1DX Mark II represent what I'm saying. And it's not going to be no pretty party because somebody got to lose this argument of abandoning their identity. Somebody got to lose the argument. Why are you making sure he don't succeed with a hip-hop headquarters? Why are you making sure he don't succeed with vaccine distribution? Why are you making sure he don't succeed with real estate videos for 500 million? Why are you making sure he don't succeed with all these different talents that he's pushing towards, the hip hop arena? Why are you making sure over and over again, making sure? So, it's not about proving people wrong, but I'm making my way into the mainstream with the Canon 1DX Mark II. Click on the link, donate. It's right above 1,000 Million Foundation. You click on that, you scroll down, it's a little yellow button that says donate. And when you donate, I'm going to be a YouTube corporation where at first you had an excuse not to donate because the link 1,000 Million Foundation wasn't above your head when you finish watching the video. Click on the link, donate, peace, $1.50, 2G what it is, you already know, peace.